That first reading is from the beginning of the story of the Exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. They went to Israel as friends looking for food and were met by Joseph, one of the sons of Israel. And it went well for them for generations, but after 430 years that they'd been there, the Israelites were enslaved by the Egyptians who were afraid of them and treated them really harshly. And so they cried out to God, and God sent Moses, and Moses told Pharaoh to let them go, and he wouldn't. So he, as you all know, he visited all of these trials and scourges on them. They still were hard of heart. They wouldn't let the Israelites go, and so he brought the last plague, which was the angel of death. The Israelites were told to take a lamb and to kill it and cook it and place its blood on the lintels of their doors. And everyone who did not have that blood on their door had the angel of death visit their family. And it killed all the firstborn sons of the animals and the people alike. And finally, the Egyptians said, just go and take with you all of your flocks. Just get out of here. And as they were starting through the desert, God told them, I want you to remember this date in perpetuity. I want you to always celebrate this passing over of your houses and the way that the Lord brought you out of Egypt and out of slavery into freedom. I want you not just to remember it, but to celebrate it. And in the Jewish tradition, they do celebrate it, but they make it present. It's not remembering something that happened in the past, but it's bringing something ancient into their present day. I guess the best way I can describe it is, if you've ever known somebody who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, some little thing can trigger them. It might be a smell, it might be a sound, it might be a sight of something. But all of a sudden, just like that, they're transported back there. They're not just remembering an event that happened in the past, they're there. You can tell it in their eyes, that they're experiencing that trauma all over again. Well, it's the same sense with the Hebrew notion of recalling that Passover event, that night, that sacred night when they were let out into freedom. Jesus used the same concept when he celebrated the Last Supper. When he said, take this, all of you, and eat of it. This is my body. And he said, take this, all of you, and drink of it. This is the cup of my blood. Do this in remembrance of me. It's called anamnesis in Greek. It's not just reliving something that's 2,000 years old. It's making Christ present again. And every time I step behind that altar and celebrate the Mass, it's like a window opens on time. And you're back at the Last Supper. You're at this present Mass, and you're at the wedding feast at the end of time. And that Christ is truly made present for us. Every time we receive him, he's made present in us, and our job as representing, not representing Christ, but representing Christ to this world that needs him so much. Every time we receive him and go out into the world, the way we treat others, the little things that we do, make Christ present once again in our world. Something as simple as smiling at the girl in the cashier line that looks like she's overwhelmed, or putting your hand on the back of a nurse and saying, thank you so much for all the sacrifices you make. Or seeing someone with a hat on that's saying they served in the military and say, thank you for your service. For the delivery person, and not just giving them a tip and looking down and handing it to them, but looking them in the eye and saying, thank you for bringing food to my family. It's the littlest things that we do that can make Christ present in our world. In what time in history has God ever needed to be made present more so than this time in our lives? With all the darkness in the world, it's time to bring a little light.